Hi guys, this is Rayner, and I'm going to show you my new improved Angel Feather deck list. It's much better than it was the last time I showed you it. It feels a lot more consistent, and I can do a lot more with it now. So, I have the starter, which is Hope Child Turiel, which is Counterblast 1, put it into the soul, and swap a damage. A card from your hand to the damage, and vice versa. So it's actually a really good starter, and it helps you get numbers late game, or middle game. I run 8 crit, 4 draw, and 4 heal at the moment. I mean, everyone's been saying to me when I've been running Angel Feather, oh, you must be really looking forward to the set 9 stuff. And I'm like, well, not really. The only thing I really want from set 9 is a second draw trigger, because it's the one thing that I would quite happily run 6 and 6 in here. But I never end up doing so, because I can't. But I would happily have another draw trigger in here. Then grade 1s, I run 4 of the horsey pony thing, whatever you call it. It's when a card's put into my damage, it's +2, so it's really good. Helps you hit big numbers. I've got this card. It is probably the MVP of the deck. It's Battle Cupid Nociel. I don't think I was running this not that long ago, and then just realised, wow, is this thing actually really, really broken? Because so often in your opponent's turn, they base their attacks on numbers. They try and hit 21s and 20s and 21s. If you use this on the first attack, it means that your Vanguard's then 12, which then means that their 21 is essentially a 19. So it means that you've got less to guard with for the rest of the turn. So just having this one card to guard with means that your attack is, or your defense means that you don't have to, you can save using 10k for the next 2 attacks if you're just going to guard normally, if you know what I mean. So if I just drop this on their rear guard attacking first and swap a damage, that then means that I'm a 12k Vanguard, which then means that I might only have to guard with 10 and then 10 rather than 15 and 15. So it means that you end up not having to lose as much card advantage to guard, which I think is actually quite crucial. 4 perfect guard, you can get away with it. And then this is a really good card as well, which is Lancet Shooter, which is just the Counterblast 1 and it gains 1000. But the fact is that I use this over the 8k vanilla just because you can, your damage is never face up or face down. You can choose what it wants to be, essentially. And I find that using this, it helps you hit proper numbers. If your opponent's got an 11k Vanguard, your Vanguard won't be hitting nice numbers if you've got the 8k vanilla, because it means that, or your rear guard column even, and it means that you're not hitting the numbers you need to make your opponent guard for lots. I mean, if I'm using this and I counterblast 1, I'm still an 8k boosting a 12, which is 20. So if they've got 10k Vanguard, that's perfect. But if I counterblast 2, it's 9k. So it's the same as the 1000 Ray. So it means that I'm hitting the numbers I want to. So the idea with this deck is I'm going to hit the numbers that they don't want me to, and I'm not going to let their numbers hurt me at all. Right, I only run 11 grade 2s. So I run 4 Million Ray Pegasus, which is the, when I take a damage it's +2. Then 4 Core Memory Armros, which is the Counterblast 2 and draw, which is actually really, really good in this deck because it just applies more pressure. Because they're not going to be able to guard these high numbers late game, even just a 16k column with this is enough to make them say, oh, I'm going to have to take that, just purely because I can't guard the other attacks. And it's something that just applies a little bit more pressure than you want to. And this is one of the newer additions I've put in, which is Doctroid Megalos. And it's the Counterblast 1, take a damage, and then shuffle it in the deck at the end of the turn. This comes in so useful when... It was a game I played yesterday where I had 3 damage, sorry, and I had my Shamseal on my Vanguard, so it was close to limit breaking. I call this, so I can get to limit break, and my Vanguard gets a +2, which is always good. So I was at 4 damage, so I do the limit break, and then I get a heal trigger. So by the end of the turn, he started at the turn on 2 damage, and I started it on 3, and I finished on 2, and he finished on 4, having had my limit break. So this is actually really good. It gets a bit dead late game, but then in late game you can just use your Nociel to swap it to damage, or you can just use it to guard with. But it's really handy early game, and it helps you... I tend to use this as my ride if I can. If I've taken a trigger as an early damage, I end up just counterblasting it and then putting it back to the deck, so it means that I've not actually lost a trigger early on. Right, and then we've got the grade 3s, which is 3 Chief Nurse Shamsil, all SP. Just, I know you weren't asking, but yeah, they're all SP. It's actually a really good card. It's limit break when you've got 4. When it attacks a Vanguard, you can swap a damage, basically. So it's really good. And then we have... So basically it's 12k, and then its booster is always going to be 9 or 8. And then we have 4 of Calamity Flame, just because as a rear guard, it's nice numbers. As a Vanguard, it's a good backup if you can't get your Shamsil off. And Shamsil doesn't do anything as a rear guard, so that's why I run 4 of Calamity Flame rather than 4 Shamsil. But yeah, that's that deck as well. I really like this. It's probably my favourite deck at the moment. I prefer it over my Oracles. But my Oracles I'll probably change when I get set 5. I might mess about with it a little bit. See if I can improve it any, because I've not enjoyed using it recently, but I don't know, I might be able to do something when Ginger comes out. Since Ginger comes out, I can run 12 crit and try that for a while, just see if that makes me enjoy it anymore. But we'll see. Thanks for watching, guys, and this is Rayner, and we'll get some more deck lists up from tonight.